this video, I'm going to show you how to install the Injora shocks, the 4 links, and the steering link.
Let's go.
Alright, so here is an unoiled shock from Injora versus I just oiled this one. Huge difference how smooth that is. So to oil them, pull back the spring, take the retainer clip off, pull the spring off, hold the shock body, and twist the cap off. Then you want to push the shock all the way up into itself, and then use 20 weight oil and put a drop right in the top, and then work the shock. Get the air bubbles out. Put another drop up there, and then work it again. And there you go. It's smoothed out. There's plenty of oil on top. Put the cap back on. Nice and snug. Pull the shock back out. Put the spring back on. And put the retainer clip back on the bottom. And there you go. Work it a few times and it starts to smooth itself out a little bit. But you can see it's already working a lot better than what it was. Then you can adjust the preload on it using this here, this dial. Screw that in or out. It'll adjust the right height and preload on it. Okay, so when installing these bushings, here I want to do the flat big side. See how this one's got 2 flat sides? You want to do the big one facing the Injora logo if that's what you want facing outwards. You're going to put an O-ring on it first and then slide it through and then put an O-ring on the back side, just like that. So you got an O-ring on both sides. And then this one, the one that's kind of belled shape down at the bottom, bowed out, you're going to press fit it into the bottom. And now it's going to be really, really tight, so you're going to have to push really hard. But once that's in there, you're going to want this bigger end facing on the outside for the screw head to get onto. So put it on here. Get the long one down to the bottom. Feed it through. Get your link in there. Maybe if it'll turn. There we go. Put the screw through. Both the link and the shock. Align the axle. Screw it in place. Nice and snug. And get the top one up here with the short screw. Nice and snug. Put your tire back on. Now, once that's on, we can check the droopage. See how far that axle drops down versus the stock one. kind of hard to see, but you can see the little bit more droop on the right with the new shock versus the left side with the stock shock. Ever so slightly, but every little bit counts and helps, right? Alright, so steering links, you've only got the 3 screws here, one on the arm from the servo, and then one on each end of the axle. So here, the new link comes with the bushings, and then also you got the O-rings to go on either side of the bushings to lock them into place before you put this on. So let's open this up and get this put together. We got the weighted link, the Injora logo. You can see the shaved corners exposing the brass. Then you've got the bushings along with the O-rings. So put these in, dump these all out. Okay, so we're going to put an O-ring on the bushing first. Slide the O-ring down all the way to the other end. Like so. And then you put it through here. And then while it's on there, you put an O-ring on the other side. And then that holds it in place. You do that with all 3 holes there. Just like that. Then take off this old one using the 3 screws, 1.5mm Allen. The reason I went with brass was put a little extra weight on the front, help hold that front down when climbing steep obstacles. Make sure you put them on the right way, kind of bowed upwards. Ooh. Alright, so you see that one? That one's a little thicker than these ones. So the skinnier ones need to actually go on the outside. I was wondering why I wasn't able to get that to fit. Okay, so it's the next day. I ran out of time yesterday, but I did get started and installed half of the Injora high clearance links. There's that side there versus the stock side, the plastic side. So I'm going to show you how to install those. First thing you want to do is take off the tires. And then you're going to want to take off these bolts here. Then there are bolts there on the frame and there on the frame. And then the ones holding the lower portions of the shocks on. And then back here on the rear axle, there's one right there that goes across and connects both of them together. And same with the front, it goes through the servo tray. So I'm going to take those off, swap out the new ones. Alright, so there's the lower one. You're going to want to match them up. Make sure you get the right size. There's the upper one. Oh, sorry, that's the upper one. Here's the lower one. Just like that. Easier if you start with the upper. And I'm doing the Injora logo. I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's an Injora logo. Doing that facing out. And just like that, the rear's done. Now you can move on to the front, finish that up, and I'll show you the finished product. And there you go. There's the Injora links, the shocks, and the steering link.
They tell me that I'm never gonna make it. They want me to do something that could make sense. They hate when I keep dreaming I'll be famous, but I don't give a fuck, I'ma keep chasing. I got all this potential that's deep inside of me, but they hate when you're successful cause they try to be. They sit there being judgmental because you're trying things, and they just want you to settle and do the right thing. So get a good job, don't slack off. Wake up every morning, make a good impression on your boss. Don't do anything that I wouldn't do, and when